This is your daily market review for Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at ADBE Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. Hopefully you're having a great holiday week. As we talked about, low volume, choppiness, up, down, left, right, all over. Well, we're getting it, and we're hitting some levels. We're getting back in the groove. Sometimes people get frustrated with the market, anticipating that they need to be right all the time. This is where I tell folks, if you have to stop out of a position or if you take profits, it's sometimes better to sit back, wait, be patient, and give it a few days, maybe a week, wait for the holidays, whatever needs to happen essentially to let some of the smoothness in the market play out. Let things kind of get to levels that might make sense or be in a place where there's news that you might be waiting for. Well, holiday weeks are typically notorious for what? Volatility, light volume, potentially extreme moves. Well, let's talk about it. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room in the description below. Back to Basic series. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please hit the like button. I'm very curious. I get hundreds of folks I think watching this that I know, and they're like, can you just hit the like button? Say it does me a big favor. I appreciate it. Also, to follow on the Twitter. Y'all know the deal. Posting a ton of stuff. It's interesting. If you look at, Apple people, insiders dumping. We've talked about this. Home prices canceling. I mean, the economy is literally falling off the proverbial slow cliff. Hence why Fed Watch Tool is showing cuts coming up. But at this point, again, just you don't know when the market's going to do what it's going to do. So this market action we talked about is not healthy. So please be careful, okay? All right. So at this point, you have what? DanMaxRealty.com. Appreciate it if you check that out. Also, check out thetradingagent.com. If you haven't used the 5.4% high yield markets account, get the referral. Also, too, the Back to Basics series is on this from beginner to advanced. And also, too, I'm begging people, please do not stay in Schwab. Be careful of these brokerages. I know one or two of them are going to blow up at some point. And so if your money gets stuck at some brokerage, you're going to be pissed. Get into Interactive Brokers. Use the referral code. Get up to $1,000 of their stock. And their stock has actually been pretty good. All right, back to the Fed Watch tools. We've talked about the first cut is anticipated in May. It's starting to creep up. December, January, like 100%. Oh, now there's even a little bit of a rate hike? Interesting. I guess the higher the market goes, it's starting to pretend like it's going to happen. It ain't happening. Leading indicators came out again. Absolutely dog crap. Retailers are saying in the blues. Everyone's saying the market's moving higher. Again, we talked about the housing. I've never seen so many, or not never seen. I just haven't seen 54,000 U.S. home purchases were canceled in October. Then you're also seeing dramatic home sale prices. I'm seeing it everywhere. If you want to buy a house right now, this is the time. Maybe not right this second, but in next couple weeks, months, you want to talk about bargaining? You want to talk about being Buffett? You want to talk about scoring epic long-term deals that create generational wealth? You're going to be able to steal some houses from folks. And I mean steal it, meaning they have so much equity, they don't give a shiznit. They got to sell. If they're losing their job, sadly enough, this is how life works. It's not fair. If someone's, has to sell right now, they might just be willing to take anything. And we know inflation is going to continue. Housing prices are only going to go higher because we have limited supply. We have people holding on to anchor mortgages. Again, I hate to get into the real estate topic, but I'm just please, if you want to go shopping, reach out. If you need a referral agent, reach out. If you need a plan, do not hesitate. Use the Calendly link in the description below. Bitcoin, we talked about. I don't trust Bitcoin. I don't trust gold. I don't trust any of these commodities. Because again, when the feds pivot, then they'll pump into liquidity. Right now, we're doing QT. We're trying to run off balance sheet. Now, I know other parts of the world are a little more loose, but the U.S. is the big dog in the game. We're the liquidity monster. Oil, as we talked about long ago, we said, hey, it was probably due to bounce. Some folks thought bigger bounce. You got it. We talked about where it failed. You got it. Now we're talking about big trading range until what? Demand destruction and the ultimate market roll off because this stuff will get crushed. Now, again, how low does it go? You're seeing more talk of OPEC cuts, probably why it bounced. I've said this before. Wouldn't be surprised if you see some oil action in the $50, $60 level. Not at all. Natty gas, leave it alone. The dollar. Talked about dollar being an issue, volatility. But what did we say? Watch the 29s. Oh, hello, Moto. Holding. TLT. I don't trust it. I don't trust bonds. Again, we have so much debt to refinance. We're begging G to come to United States to buy our debt. I don't think the market literally can function until money out of the stock market goes into bond market and commodities. It goes into QE, the next level of Q, because that's the only way they're going to be able to get rates to go significantly lower is through QE or some sort of market mayhem, deflation. It's the only way, and I don't think we're there yet. Now, again, watch the levels. I've said this. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a little volatile, but if it is the bottom, all right, well, we can always get into bonds later, or there'll be great action in the Magnificent Seven. VIX, gift down here. Extremes over the holidays, you bet your ass. He's like Vixen. Don't talk about this one as often, but look at the freaking VIX of the Qs. VIX holding the low 80s, right? SPY. People are like, you're an idiot for shorting yesterday. I'm like, I told you at the close, I thought a blow-off would be an ideal place to take some shorts. All right, Doji today waiting for NVIDIA. QQQ. After hour, NVIDIA's down a little bit. I mean, again, who cares? This is talking about blow-off. Like I talked about like big, you have, I'm talking about like bear stuff previously. Like here you go. Like big green top, blow-off top, green top, right? Green gap, big green, decent green candle. Again, I could go back in the past and find these, but typically it's just like at the bottom. Like at the bottom, you have big red candles followed by dojis. Well, I figured we might have a big green. Worst case scenario, that's why if you started shorting yesterday, you probably had some good entries today if it would have popped. You didn't get it. Again, I like the idea of a short because, again, we talked about the IWM lagging. Dog shiznit. If you shorted this yesterday, looking pretty good. Again, I'll say this again. This is my anticipation. NVIDIA down. The market goes down. Then all of a sudden, the rumors come out over the holidays that people are stomping each other to get into Costco to buy TVs or Target or whatever. The market starts to find a little up, and then we flop into the end of the month as people take profits, and then December will be a beast, potentially. It could be the ultimate profit taking, or it could be just another choppy month with tax loss selling and markup for the end of the year for things that are doing well. VIA. Hopefully this is moving quicker. Chopping at levels. Gold popped today. People are like, oh, you idiot. It's breaking out. Okay. If that's the best trade you think it is, go right ahead. Silver, again, this is what's tough to trade. Silver and the miners are just lagging. Silver, again, pop, flop. GDX. Think this thing would be up in the 35, 36 level? Not so much. GDXJ. Same kind of thing. Junior miners should be on fire. In fuego. No, they're not. Now they could be due to bounce. Again, I don't want to like sit here and like tell you to short them, but I'm just waiting to buy. AG. We talked about the fours being a gift. AM. Talked about it chopping around again. Dojis today. I mean, this is the thing. People, I'll repeat this again. They will throw the baby out with the bathwater. They will dump all stocks, and miners get thrown in. That's what you got to be careful of. When the VIX spikes in the 50s, 60s, whatever it ended up being, miners will not be safe. Because again, if there's potential sniff of credit issues, miners will get thrown in the trash. Not that they're worth, like, again, gold and silver will probably hold up pretty decently well, potentially, but they will throw these names. Again, I don't even know. There's nothing to say. They all look like they're just stuck. Taiwan Semi. Talked about the 100 area being a little interesting. Right? You get a little baby gap feel. Baby gap, keep an eye on it. Micron, this thing had just been crazy. Again, this is where big greens, right, have been usually the tops. Right? Big greens for Micron. Yesterday was one. It's kind of looking like it's topping. AM Dizzle, we talked about the 120s. AMD. Chopping. Keep an eye on it. NVIDIA after hours. What are we at? Give me 2 seconds. I don't have the 10-minute. We're at 492. Talked about backtesting the trend line. Look at that. To a fudging T. Slightly higher high. What a beautiful trap. Intellectual property. We talked about the weekly, the 44 area. Oh, let me pull that up again. I don't know why. Just check this out. Like, are you surprised it's going to find some resistance here? There's a whole bunch of trapped intellectual property owners who are stuck from up there trying to get back to even. Why did I throw? I don't know. Long day. SMH said this is a fake breakout potentially. Keep an eye on it. Big green. Big green. End on big green. Not even huge green. Or just medium green. Again, I don't trust this stuff. Again, if you study and know the past, semiconductors become an absolute commodity when they peak. Everybody's creating great chips. Adobe's, if you go check the weekly again, this is resistance zone. Shorted Apple. Again, Apple is literally giving away an iPhone, iPad, an iWatch, Apple Watch, giving away a kidney, whatever, if you sign up for a new phone. I mean, there's no way that they're doing well. China's not selling well. Keep an eye on it. But again, fundamentals don't matter. But at a certain point, we said, wait. We said doji. Big green. All right, I'll take it. Fills the gap. Big green. Everyone's saying, wait for 195, 197. Not all gaps have to fill. The Amazonian. Keep an eye on it. That gap down today was thought we might have lost it, but then it's like, they'll probably get some sort of pump because they'll be like, Amazon, this has recorded sales, even though their sales will be up like 2% year over year. People are like, oh, look, they're doing amazing. Guggenheim. Again, watch the levels. Here, Goog's interesting. Head and shoulders top. Meta high, like a high. This is one's hard because, again, you got weekly resistance in the 340s, and this has just been a beast. I don't know if I want to short. I like stuff that's not making new highs. Like Microsoft, this is hard. Just making new highs. NDAQ, I like this one up here in the 54, 55 area. I mean, again, not all gaps fill. I'd be watching this range. You see the VAP to the left. Again, I think NASDAQ composite, the NASDAQ actual exchange gets beaten and murdered in time. MicroStrategy said, watch Bitcoin. I mean, this looks like the top in MicroStrategy. Unless Bitcoin breaks out, this thing is probably going to get pummeled at some point, but time being the key. Netflix we talk about here. Again, I'll pull up the weekly. I don't like to bounce back and forth because it can just be frustrating, but check this out. Back of a trend line and the blue zone, the 470s. You bet your sweet butt that, I don't know why I'm saying that. Sweetness. Oh, here comes my sweetness. If you know that Skittles skit. Yeah, sorry. Roblox, choppy. Again, I like this name when it gets beaten. We've talked about it. Anything in the low area gets bought. Tesla, it's incredibly short right now. This is one of the ones that I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm going on record. Be careful shorting this if the market dumps, because I could see people unwinding their Tesla shorts to short the magnificent other stocks in the magnificent tech bubble. We saw this, remember we talked about this with Roblox previously. It had such a huge short interest, and when the market dumped, it didn't drop. It actually rallied a little because people are unloading their shorts to get into other stuff. This is one of those names that, unless bad news is coming, I mean, I guess it kind of is coming. We know that, but I don't know if it'll have like the gusto. So just be careful. Costco, watching this level right here, watching the gap to test. Because again, I think some of these retailers will pop. I'm hoping Starbucks rallies. I think this was an absolute short because people, when the first thing they're cutting out is their damn coffee, their $8 latte. FedEx, the 100-day, watching it chop here. Caterpillar, we really want to see a little higher, maybe a retest in the 250s. Love it. Nucor getting up here again. I think if you would have shorted today, great. But it has a tendency to play with the 100-day. So just, again, have that in the back of your mind. Don't bring a ruler to trading. Don't assume, but be careful. VALE, Doji, and this thing's all over the place. Arrow, we talked about copper being oversold due to bounce a little bit. Okay, 20-day. We'll see what happens here. CCJ, this has been a monster. Just be careful. I just don't trust commodity names that are holding up here, because I think they will get beaten. They'll throw the baby out the bathwater. Ag names, we talked about. Let them come on in. You got to eat. In the future, ag is going to be very important. Obviously, you need more as the populations continue to grow. I guess if we're all eating crickets, never mind. Short ag until, if we eat all crickets, right? Well, actually, then we'll have to grow more crickets. What's the fertilizer for crickets? I don't know. I make jokes. AA, again, I like ag, but just I don't want to buy them until the feds get closer to pivoting. Like AA, another one, aluminum name. Like, again, they're going to pump. You're going to see liquidity come into commodities. You're going to see a bull market in commodities. I can almost guarantee it, because money rotates. Like, it doesn't stay in one sector for the history of stocks. Like, it goes from tech to commodities, or it goes from housing to commodities, or sorry, housing to tech. Like, again, there's an input and an output cycle. And so right now, outputs has been tech, inputs has been commodities, right? You're going to go back. We're underinvested in commodities. Again, if we're going to grow out this amazing tech future, we have to rebuild infrastructure, all this stuff, all this amazing stuff that you're going to need inputs. And the input in infrastructure investment is underutilized, and it's all in outputs. And that's, again, I've said this. Watch my video from December 2021. Who wins the tech war? Not tech. It's the inputs. It's the bullets. The guys, that make the guns in this war aren't going to be the ones, because the guns will get so flooded in the market, and everyone will want them, of course, naturally, but there will be it'd be price cutting galore. I mean, do you think NVIDIA is going to be able to sustain the price of their chips? No, you bet your ass they're not. XLF, watch the 35s. JP Morgan, watch the 152s. Watch this like 153. I didn't think we'd get up here, but we filled the gap. Talked about it. Watch it. Again, XLF, again, sorry, let me go back to it. I hate to be too quick, but man, do we backtest the trend line? I mean, we're in some interesting areas. Morgan Stanley, I'm like praying this piece of gets up to 81, 82. If it doesn't, well, I missed it. Bank of America, you can short. I think this left-right combo up here at the trend line. Goldman Sachs, was watching this one all day. Like, is this thing going to rally? Nope. Little pro gap. KRE, another name. Said, watch the 45s. Shade 45, rolling over. XBI. We talked about this one being a risk-on name. I mean, look at this thing all over the place. Nice little bottom here, but this thing should be like, if the market was healthy, baby bios should not be in the 70. This should be like, remember, this thing got to 180 in 2021. It's not looking good. It's like solar. Like, the market ain't healthy. Like, the risk-on names, there's no risk-on. It's like hiding. And these names, yeah, they're due to bounce, but they could literally go, people don't realize they can go lower. Again, TAN can get smashed. Absolutely. These things, the TAN, Sedge go back to like $10. ENPH, you're like, you're crazy, Dan. I'm like, dude, if you don't know the past in these names, like these risk-on, like certain specialty sector, like names that price in at future earnings, and then all of a sudden the recession comes, these things price at a discount to their earnings. ENPH, Sedge, all that. First Solar, we talked about watching the 162. So far, so good. If you would have shorted today, I think you got a 2-day range. You got a very clear path to what stopping in or stopping out. Stopping in meaning like you're in and you're just letting it roll at your stop where you got in. HYG, you got to give it credit. It is holding up. I expect this to roll when it's ready to roll. Oil, as we said, volatile all over the place. UNG, I told people to leave the shit alone. No one listens. They go, oh, it's going to 10. I'm like, all right, we'll see you at 5. Well, there it is. XOP. Love the short on this. Again, demand destruction, but again, with stops. Want to see that 20-day back test. Exelon Motors, Exelon Mobiles. I don't know. I'm just trying to like make up fake names. As long as it's holding 100, it's looking okay. Valero, we talked about gasoline demand is going to be a problem. Trend lines. I mean, here, let me zoom in. I apologize. Zoop. Interesting areas. Again, these are chopping before it feels like the flop. MPC, we talked about. Love to see a 150 test. I mean, 150s was a good area. Got it. Locked in. Oxy, it has no love. I mean, it's just Buffett selling calls endlessly. He's praying for a VIX spike to sell calls. EQT, we talked about. Folks are like, oh, it's going higher. I'm like, it seems to be stuck. 44 is the lid. Last but not least, Flex LNGE. Chopping. Again, we like this name because I think long-term we will be a massive exporter of natural gas. Massive. So if you have any questions, again, please reach out. Please do yourself a favor. Give yourself grace. In a probability game, you can't expect to always win. It's like going to the poker room and being like, well, I'm going to win every night and get pocket aces every hand. No, it's not how it works.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.